23 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Have you ever heard about the 12-stone cure for the common cold? Have you ever heard about the 12-stone cure?
Oh, no, I never have.
The 12-stone cure for the common cold goes like this. You take 12, when you get a cold, you take 12 stones and you put them in your right pocket, right? Mm-hmm. And then each day you take one stone out of your right pocket and put it in your left pocket. When all of the stones are in your left pocket, your cold will be cured.
Really?
Yeah. It
wow.
has, and of course, has nothing to do with your stones. It has to do with 12 days. Because your body has a way of fixing itself when it can. It's an amazing thing that we live in, and all human creation and all life creation. I mean, animals do it too. Not that I understand it at all, but maybe Dr. Joseph Cardillo can explain it. He has written a book called Body Intelligence. He is an inspirational speaker, an inspirational author, I can tell you that much. He's an energy teaching expert. He's an attention training expert. He's a contributor to Psychology Today, the Huntington Post, the Smithsonian Magazine, a whole bunch of other publications. And the book, again, Body Intelligence, Harness Your Body's Energies for Your Best Life. Dr. Joseph Cardillo, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for being on the air with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
There sounds like there's a little bit of a delay, and I apologize for that. It might sound like I'm talking over you, and I don't mean to do that. Where are you calling from?
Thank you.
Well, I'm in the Berkshires, in between New York State and Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. Nice time of year to be up there, isn't it?
Oh, very colorful, beautiful out here.
Yeah. So I opened up with a very simple, try to be silly illustration, not an explanation, but an illustration that for the most part, I mean, we go through this life fighting off things we don't even know about. Our bodies just fight off things. But you go beyond that, though, in the book. You talk about how our intelligence actually can give us more than just, good health.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the body is an incredible, intelligent machine, and body intelligence works from the premise that we have a physical body. We live in a physical world for a reason, and our body is a great machine to help get us the energy that we need on a daily basis, and to really facilitate all the things that we do.
I want to tell you. I want to talk to you about two words that we use as children: the word "pretend" and the word "make believe." And in your book, you have a part of the book that talks about visualization, and I want you to talk about that, because when we're children, quite often what we're visualizing as we're making believe, we're making ourselves believe, or pretending, we're pre-doing. The word "tend" means to do. I've often thought, wow, that's how we become who we are. If I look at old home movies of myself, I'm doing something with a microphone. I'm doing something with a musical instrument. I must have been interested in showbiz at one point. To what extent radio is showbiz is debatable, but the point is that's what you see me doing in old home movies. Robin's daughter, in old home movies, you see her playing with horses. She's a veterinarian now. A veterinarian assistant, yes. I think, is more accurate. But the point is, what she was pretending to do is what she is doing.
Yeah, that's amazing. and so often it's that way. Visualization is a tremendous tool to, you see, much of my book deals with trying, our bodies have mechanisms within them to harness energy from everything they come in contact with, including from within themselves. And I call these mechanisms, to make a softer term, I call them apps. And it's kind of like who hasn't had an electronic device, a cell phone or any a computer, and labored over some process that you're trying to work out on the computer, and then all of a sudden somebody shows you an app that's on that computer that makes your process so simple and so easy. For me, it's usually my 11-year-old daughter. She'll come up to me and she'll say, "Why are you struggling with that? You know, you have an app that'll take care of that at a push of a button." And in so many ways, our bodies are exactly like that. And that's what I try to get to in the book, that there are apps that we have, all of us have within ourselves, that we can call on to give us the energy that we need for the tasks that we're working on. And one of the things in body intelligence is that we realize that there's more than one kind of energy. Many people think, well, there's only two kinds: the kind that takes us up and the kind that takes us down. But really, there are many other types of energy. For me, I try to think about it like this: like if you're trying to bench press 350 pounds, say, that's one kind of energy. But on the other hand, if you're working out, if a student is working out a difficult math equation, that's a whole other kind of energy you need.
Sure is, yeah.
Or if you're playing an instrument like the violin, or if you're trying to heal from something, heal from a broken heart, or heal from a surgery. Very different kinds of energy, but know this, and this is something I want everybody to know and to realize, that your body has within it the app to cultivate that energy for you. And when you do that, you realize that whatever activity you're involved in, rather than draining you, it actually satisfies you and increases your energy. So part of body intelligence is to get rid of our energy drain and to replace it with energy gain. And when we live this way, the things we do satisfy us and make us feel better, health-wise and also mentally.
My app kicks in two places: in the car and in the shower. if I'm trying to figure out the solution to something, whether it's a life problem or I'm fixing something in my house, maybe the washing machine broke down and I don't know how to fix washing machines, and let's say I look on YouTube and there's nobody on there helping me out, I'll be in the car driving and go, "Oh, wait a minute, I think I know the answer." Or I'll be in the shower and go, "Oh, wait a minute, I think I know the answer." So I think my app kicks in the shower and in the car.
And millions of other people will say the same thing, and myself included. And the great thing about, actually, I talk about that in the book, and I think in several occasions, because one of the things that people are afraid to do, we're in a society right now that's go, 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 push the pedal to the metal, and we're afraid to give ourselves a break. But in body intelligence, I ask people to give themselves a break, so that they can experience what you just mentioned. And there's a reason for that. And I like to explain the reasons why we gain energy from natural phenomena like that.
Isn't that interesting?
I like to explain that in the book, and I do a lot, so that I think that the more people understand the connection between things like that, the more they'll be able to regulate them and bring them on more naturally themselves. The reason that happens to us is that we think that if we take a break, that the problem we were just working on, or the solution we're fishing for, we think if we take a break, that kind of leaves our mindset and we're really interrupting it with fun and play or something else, with relaxation. But that's not true. What happens in the mind when you take a break is that you're giving that analytical part of your mind a break, but it doesn't stop working. What it's doing is it's working at a much lower energy drain. So it's still working. So if you were trying to figure out the answer to an equation, and you take a little bit of a break when you can't get that answer right away, what you're doing is relaxing the energy drain, and that part of your mind continues to work while you're cultivating energy in the other part of your mind, which is the more creative part.
There's such a fascinating aspect to this. I have a metaphor I use all the time, and it's the bumblebee in the back of the car who's trying to get out the back window, which never opens. And he tries and tries and tries and tries and doesn't realize that if he just were to fly back 3 feet, he could go out the passenger window. But he ends up dying because he never gets through that back window. He just dies in the back of the car. And I've often thought that if we are so stubborn to think that we can keep trying to penetrate something impenetrable and instead just take a break and try to figure out, well, where is the open window? We would save ourselves so much frustration in this lifetime.
You are so right. You are so right about that, and I'm going to double up on that and say absolutely send that message out there. You know, people need a break, especially in this fast-paced world. And when you take a break, don't be afraid that you're losing sight of what you were working on, or that you're gonna, you know, you're not going to get the job done. In fact, you'll get it done faster because you're building energy while you're taking that break, and you're also plugging an energy drain. And so that's the epitome of really good body intelligence. You're plugging the drains, and you're cultivating more as you go along. So you'll when you come back to the work, if you don't already have the solution, you'll get it done faster.
Dr. Joseph Cardillo is on the. Do you pronounce your last name Cardillo or Cardillo?
Cardillo is fine.
Cardillo, okay. We need to take a break, Doctor, and we'll be right back. This is a fascinating topic. The book is called Body Intelligence, Harness Your Body's Energies for Your Best Life. This goes way beyond just the energy you need to keep from being sleepy at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which I have a tendency to do every day. We'll take a little break and be right back. This is WOCA.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, intervals of cloud and sunshine. There can be a shower or two along the coast, the high 82 to 86. Mostly cloudy tonight, a late night shower in spots along the coast, the low 69 to 73. Clouds and some sun tomorrow with a shower near the coast, the high 83 to 87. On Wednesday, times of clouds and sun and warm with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, the high 84 to 88. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
All right, 12 minutes, or 11 minutes rather, before 10 o'clock. There's a movie, Dr. Cardillo, there's a movie, I think it was The Natural, where they say if you build it, they will come.
A Field of Dreams.
Is that it? Okay, and I've often thought if you try it, you will do it. If whatever it is you're trying to do, and I mean, you think of Thomas Edison with the light bulb, for example. I mean, how many times did he try it, and finally he had an idea?
Yeah.
You know, that worked.
One of the things that boggles my mind is that people will expend so much of their energy on being hateful toward other people. They'll be complainers, but they won't, forget about that and direct that energy into something positive.
Oh, absolutely, and I really get into that in the book too. There's something very much to be said, and a lot of research is showing up these days to confirm that when we do things, there's something to the golden rule. There's something to living with values that when we feel that we're doing something virtuous, when we feel that we're doing something good, not only does that change our blood chemistry, but it literally changes the electrical activity in the brain. And these things, so when we feel good, we're really producing higher quality electrical activity, and we're producing higher quality blood chemistry, which then changes the way we not only feel about the things we do, but it changes what we do next. So you're going in to your day feeling and acting at your top. So I encourage things like that in the book as well, and also even with the language that we use. Every part of the brain can help energize you. your visual center, which I think we referred to earlier, your visual center, your language center. All the different centers of the brain can help activate energy, and I explain this in the book. And sometimes, one of the things we can do, a lot of this idea of body energy is to double up. A lot of it has to do with little tricks that you can learn. So, for example, if you use more than one center within your brain, you can double the effect.
Oh wow! Can you give an example of that? In the book, you were talking at one point about, and I could relate to something you said in the book, that when one of your friends got a good news or excited, he would drive fast. And I think your friend also drove fast when he got bad news too. By the way, but.
He did.
It's a doctor's alter ego.
Yeah, and I don't know that I relate to that part, but I did have I would have a tendency, not so much now, but when I was younger, put in a fast, upbeat song and just roll down the window and drive fast, and it felt good. I don't know why, but it just did. So give us an example of a trick.
A lot of reasons, but one of the things that you can do is, here's a very, very simple example. Many people like to do exercise when they play music, and they exercise. They get more energy out of that. A very simple example like that. If you go outside and you just take a walk, instead of having that third cup of coffee in the afternoon, when you're outside walking, you'll gain energy from the physical exercise itself. And I talk about that in the book. The energy that you're gaining is both mechanical and heat energy. But if while you're walking, you also play a song, a type of music that will bring you that will either relax you or make you more alert, whatever it is that you're going for, you can double the effect with the exercise. And then because you're outside in the light, what you're doing is you're actually changing your blood chemistry, because what's making you groggy in the afternoon or giving you that afternoon slump is melatonin.
An example.
So you can reduce that level by being out in the sun.
Sorry for the interruption there. Again, there's probably a delay between when I hear you and when you're speaking, so I don't mean to talk over you. But two that come to mind, and this is going to reveal my age. The theme from Rocky, boy, that used to pump me up. And the Pointer Sisters,
I love that.
I'm So Excited. Remember I'm So Excited by the Pointer Sisters? Yeah. Those would be two musical pieces that would get me going.
And they're different for everybody.
Yeah. One of the things that I wanted to ask you about is things that get in our way. Now, Robin mentioned negative thoughts, like, negative whatever about other people, but you could think negatively about yourself. Maybe you believe that thing that your coach told you that you'll never amount to anything. That could be a negative that holds you back, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And so much, so much can be controlled by perception. So, I address that in the book, because perception can change our currency, can change our energy. So if we perceive something as negative, then that's going to give us a lower quality energy. Not only that, but it creates and I talk about the power of memory in the book a lot. If you have positive memory, positive emotional memory, it can fuel you. And then when you start to double up with other things, as I suggest in the book, that'll help amplify the energy that you're after, the memory will actually drive that energy and help you sustain it, and even help you recall it quicker the next time around. Eventually, it'll make it automatic. One of the dangers of this, I have to say, one of the dangers of not having body intelligence is that things get lodged into our memory and drive our energy in a way that's not in our best interests, and sometimes it becomes an unconscious drive because we lose track of that memory, and it's an emotional memory, like what you're suggesting. And then we're in certain situations behaving a certain way, and we don't even know why. We're just doing it. And by the way, those things happen in a millisecond. Those changes in your blood chemistry, those changes in the electrical activity in your brain happen in a millisecond. You couldn't stop it if you tried, unless you use body intelligence to reverse it.
Interesting. So let me ask you about something, and I don't know that this is tested or anything, and I don't mean to throw you a curve either, but if somebody is feeling like they don't succeed at anything, I've heard this before, that what you do is you get your mind and your spirit used to being successful. You set yourself up so you will be successful. You say, okay, today I'm going to clean the entire living room. It's a pretty easy goal. Okay, so I'm going to clean this. So that at the end of the day, you say, wow, I accomplished something. I was successful today. And tomorrow, maybe you're going to do something a little bit bigger than that. And eventually, you're going to become the president of the United States because that's your goal. I mean, or something of that sort. Or you're going to get the dream job, maybe is a better example. Do you think we can train ourselves to be more accepting of ourselves being successful?
Absolutely. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And I love that that you started out that explanation with an example of somebody doing something physical, sweeping a floor or tidying up the house. Our body is the instrument that can change the mind. You know, I keep saying it so many times, you know, in places where I speak to students and so on, that I teach for different organizations. I've said it over and over again that if the mind is negative, if the mind is depressed, we definitely don't want that mind now imposing itself on the body, because now you're going to have two problems. You're going to have a mind that's not functioning to the top of its game, and it's going to do the same thing to your body. And so what you want to do is the body is our tool in this physical world. We want to use the body and the body's mechanisms, the little apps inside our body, to change and balance the mind. So what better to do than to do something physical that can be accomplished, and to change that. And in the book I explain how that will change your blood chemistry, that will change your brainwave activity, that will change other things about you, and that physical change will then change the mind and make the mind positive and healthier. And once the mind is positive and healthier and more activated rather than fatigued, then the mind then will help to change the body, and you'll have this sort of this sort of interaction between the mind and the body that's now synchronized, where the mind is making the body more healthy, and the body is making the mind healthy.
Wonderful words.
And that will continue. It will become synergistic, and that's when your life becomes brilliant and vibrant. And that's what I want everybody to have. That's why I wrote the book.
Doctor, what a wonderful motivational speaker you are.
Vibrant life.
Doctor,
that's when the mind and body become synergistic.
Thank you so much for being on the air with us. We have to run. The book is called Body Intelligence. I have a copy of it right here. Call me if you want the copy that was sent to us. The rest of us have to go buy it. Doctor, before we say goodbye, do you have a website?
I do, and I welcome people to contact me. It's www.josephcardillo.com. That's Cardillo, and you could find my book in bookstores everywhere, or at Amazon or Barnes & Noble.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much for being on the air. The message I got from this interview was, you can do it.
Yes.
And
sure.
And whatever it is pretty much anything.
Absolutely.
You can do it. Dr. Joseph Cardillo, again, the book, Body Intelligence. Somebody is calling in for the book. I'll have to take your call off the air because Dr. Cardillo is on that same line. So I'll just keep letting it ring, and I'll be sure to get it. The rest of us have to go buy the book. Thank you, Doctor. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Today in Florida Ag News from a Southeast AgNet, USDA's National Agriculture Statistics Service recently conducted what is called the Tenant Ownership and Transition of Agricultural Land, or TOTAL survey. Hubert Hamer with NASS explains what it's all about.
The TOTAL is an integrated survey of farm finance and land ownership. It's providing an update on income, expenses, debt, demographic, and a lot of land transition types of questions will be answered with this information. The last time this survey was conducted was 1999, so we've had 15 years since you've had a major undertaking to study land tenure and ownership issues, and I think this survey will provide a lot of valuable information to answer questions.
Hamer summarizes some of the highlights from the recent survey.
Looking at land expected to transfer in the next 5 years, we're talking about 91.5 million acres, or 10%